Now this right here is where I grew up. I seen everything, man, everything. I seen the nigga get killed right over there, you know? They beat him up, stomped him, shot the dude, stomped the nigga again, and then I seen him take a dump on the dude. I swear to God, man, they actually, like, shot a deuce on this nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? They shot on the nigga, man. And I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Yeah, you got to be pretty mad to shit on somebody. I can agree with that. You got to be pretty mad to just, after you kill the motherfucker, just sit there and just, you know, take the time, shit. Probably
it's a process.
You probably wouldn't wipe though, which is kind of gross. So anyway, folks, that's what a hell of a way to start the show right there. I am Boxman. This is Wrestling Outlet, and across from me is the man in orange. He's there. I can't rhyme anything with orange, or maybe porange. All right. Anyway, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, man?
That's right. It's him. Smark and Boxman, how you doing? Voice of Generation, the old ball coach. How are you?
Oh, you know, man, it's about the same. Still got 7 new puppies. They are getting louder every day.
Oh no.
They get higher pitched, it seems like, every day. But I already got one. Somebody wants one of them already that I know, so that'll be good. And there's a runt. I think we're gonna keep the runt. She's cute and she loves giving face licks with her wonderful, delicious puppy breath. I love puppy breath. I miss puppy breath. I love puppy breath. So I think we're gonna keep the runt. That's what I think we're gonna do. It's good. It's mostly the mama colors, but it's got some of the other dogs' colors on her tail and under her belly. So she's a little mix of both. So we'll have a little mixed runt. And it'll be fun. Another puppy. What the fuck am I thinking? 5 dogs.
20 chickens, 40 pigs.
6 chickens, 5 pigs. We had 6. One of my pigs actually died 2 weeks ago. I walked out and we had a cold snap here. And we had a runt pig too. And I think she got caught up and suffocated by the other pigs, but I can't be sure of that. But I think that's what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, they were all cuddled. They sleep so tightly together. The pigs do. So I don't know, but they sleep in like one corner of, not even in the barn. We have a little shed, and they just go curl up in the shed. So yeah, we put hay in there, and they curl up with it and keeps them warm. But I think they got a little too snuggly that night, and yeah, had one little pig die. One little piggy. One little pig. That's it. So otherwise, that's it. Yep, 6 chickens, pigs, 2 sheep, 3 goats. I think that's it.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Of course, my wife does have duck eggs back here in the incubator. So we're going to have ducks again. We have 1 duck. We're down to 1 duck. Actually, I forgot we do have a duck. Well, my ducks are weird. They leave every morning. They go off the property. They leave. They're just gone. And
well, considering the fact that every week you inform me of at least 1 new animal death, I don't know if I blame them.
Well, no, we don't. You know what? Not in here. It's when they leave, they die. But because none of the animals in here are dying, it's when they leave. But the ducks, like every 3 weeks, we lose one. But they leave. They come back here at 5:30. We see them come back. But there's been 3 of them. Last week there was 2. This week I see 1. Keep telling my wife, no more ducks, no more ducks. What does she bring home? Eggs.
More ducks.
Eggs. I got duck eggs. Duck eggs. Oh, fuck my life.
There you have it.
You know what? My kids are loving it. They're loving having all the little things around, and I guess they're learning about death, aren't they?
Indeed.
Indeed. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a plus, but they're learning loss early. I don't know. Life loss. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Bull, if you're interested.
The mom is 25% pit bull. So I got one. So, and she's enough. So, all right, folks, we have a bunch to get into tonight. We've got the Royal Rumble we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about Evolve. We're going to talk about a little bit about Danhausen on Chris Van Vliet. And we've got a few other things. Of course, we have Vince McMahon lawsuits to talk about because Vince McMahon has a bunch of lawsuits going on. So we will be talking about them a little bit later. And we'll get into that as we go. And of course, we'll wrap up with the AEW Dynamite. But enough about my animals and death. We will hold that for another time, another day, another show. But while Smark is trying to calm his dog down or getting eaten, I'm not sure. We'll go ahead and get rolling here, folks. We'll go ahead and start with the Royal Rumble now. Smark was a good boy. He watched all of it. All I did was watch the two Rumbles. But Smark, let me just start off with, I told you, Women's Rumble. I told you.
Indeed you did, yes.
I knew it. There was no doubt in my mind. No doubt at all. Folks, Charlotte, of course, came back and wins the Royal Rumble. Because, you have to...
Same as it ever was.
Same as WWE's always been, folks. I'm sorry, but... And, she didn't exactly get the reaction on Raw I think she was expecting. There was I heard some podcasters go, it was mostly cheers. No, it really wasn't. It was a good 60-40. I don't know. Is she like the Hogan? They're tired of her. They don't want Charlotte coming back and taking all the spots anymore. I don't know.
I mean, I think I kind of feel like she knew what the reaction was going to be, especially because she's been in the company for long enough, and she's sharing a locker room, at least that night with Cena, and like they were at a time booked very similarly. So I'm sure by now she kind of knows what the score is and what happens when you win a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure, I guess, but I mean, she comes in, goes right to the front of the line. She leaves, does something to her face, comes back right to the front of the line, leaves, does something to her tits, comes back, front of the line. It's I'm sorry, but fans get tired of it, man. Fans just get tired of it. So it seems like they may be a little tired of it, but that's why she's out there cutting. I worked hard. I do all this, blah, blah, blah. So, and by the way, someone got sick of her, Andrade, her husband. Turns out they've been divorced for like 3-4 months. So
he's just like, I can't handle it. You fucking won the Rumble again. Enough of this shit.
No, maybe he wants a woman. I don't know. Maybe he wants a woman with an ass. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get super stereotypical there, but for a man of Latin descent, somebody who is, as you said, hip challenged.
Yeah, I mean, she built like a fucking 2x4 with tits.
Mm-hmm. I know that was after your time, but there was when I was growing up, there was a show called Ed, Edd n Eddy, and there was a character. One of the kids had like a fucking, like it was like his imaginary friend type situation, it was literally just a piece of wood called plank. And every time you say that about Charlie Player, that's what I picture. It's just fucking plank. I'll bring up a picture here in a second once I stop getting chewed to death. But
well, that's fine. As you're doing that, I will. There were at least a couple of surprises in this Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. You had your usuals out there, you know, Io Sky, Liv Morgan. Those two started off the match. They were both in there for over an hour, by the way. As was Roxanne Perez, who came out third. They were all three in there for over an hour. But we had Jordan Grace came out for this. Went out there, was fucking doing great, I thought. That Death Valley Driver on Nia Jax was fucking awesome. The crowd went fucking nuts for it. And Alexa Bliss made her return, Smark.
Indeed.
She got a great pop, and that jacket, which
they fucked up immediately.
Yeah,
how do you not know that's coming? Do you not, like, somebody didn't communicate something, I guess?
I mean, they literally pulled away as soon as the jacket came out. Now, folks, the jacket said Fiend Forever. She put an R and an S, and it said exactly.
That's what I picture anytime I see Charlotte Flair.
There you go. She put an R and an S in between Fiend, and it said Friends Forever. She put those in, you know, the writings in red. She put those in white. It looked really, really cool the way she did it, and the cameras just never caught it. They panned away as soon as she flew. I mean, you caught it for a split second because there were pictures of it, so it was enough to catch a picture of. But I don't know. I guess maybe they were supposed. I don't know. Maybe she took too long, and they were supposed to cut over to something. I have no clue. I got no clue. Mm-hmm. But it was really good to see her back, and I guess that's great that she's back. Everybody was saying that she was at a stalemate. Nobody knew her contract was fucked up. They were at an impasse. They kept saying, but I guess not. We had Stephanie McCourt come out in this match. Trish Stratus, my God, talk about someone who does not age. Dude, she had the same outfit on she had worn, like, what, 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it fit just about the fucking same. She is just, I mean, I know she does the yoga and stuff, but she's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fucking timeless Trish Stratus. Jesus Christ.
That's right. Yeah, because I mean, like, I think it was last year or the year before where she was doing the WrestleMania run, had that, like, 4-person tag or whatever. It was her and Lita. And, like, it seemed like she was, like, way better in terms of, like, not having ring rust and still being able to perform than Lita was. And she's, like you said, she still looks great. She's still in great shape. I mean, as somebody who, you know, still has a career in fitness industry, that's not terribly surprising. But, you know, she's holding up well. Good for her.
She's my age.
Mm-hmm.
She's 49. I didn't know that. I suddenly feel old. I feel old every morning, let's face it. But yeah, she looked great. Trish Stratus did. And then Charlotte came out, and I swear, I think everybody knew what was happening as soon as she came out at 27. And number 30, folks, that's right. She's back. Nikki Bella is back. Nothing, Smark. Nothing. Nothing by Nikki Bella. Nothing.
Not even slightly.
Mama said, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. No, you know what? She looks good. She looks fine. And you know what? I mean, what is she going to do? Newly divorced. Made amends with WWE, wanted to go back, let her come back for a while. I don't see her being there for a long ass run, so I do think it's funny. This is Cena's last hurrah, and he has to deal with his ex. Now, they're making him deal with his ex. They had to throw something in there for him to, just to shit on him. They had to throw something in there.
She's out. She's in the locker room, not using coasters.
Shit. But yeah, so there you go. Nikki Bella made it back. But yeah, Charlotte did win that match, folks. And once again, I'm not ashamed to say, I told you so. I knew she would win.
I was a little bummed out. I mean, I guess they've already ran through everybody, but I was a little bit bummed out in this one and in the men's one that there was no real surprises. Because I feel like if they do a Rumble, which I feel like is very much in doubt next year because they're going to be going through during Saudi, right. If they don't, it's very much in doubt whether or not they're going to do a women's one. And like, I don't think you're going to have surprises in that one. Like fucking Mickie James isn't trying to fly to Saudi Arabia to be in Royal Rumble for 5 minutes. That shit's not happening.
No, I do think they will do. I definitely think they'll do a Women's Royal Rumble next year. Dude, are you kidding? To say they made history one more time, they would fucking put those women in bubble wrap if they had to.
They should have fucking. God, it would work so much better if I could remember her name. But do you remember fucking Awesome Kong and TNA and had like fucking, I think it was like Raisha Saeed or whatever. It's fucking cheerleader Melissa in a fucking the Indian outfit.
Yeah.
I think she should win the Royal Rumble next year. Fucking have her. She's probably still doing something.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything in a while. So, but all right. So I guess that's a Women's Rumble match. And yeah, there really weren't, there were like no surprises in the Men's Royal Rumble match, which we'll get to in just a minute because we had after the Women's Rumble, there's only 4 matches, this can take no time. We had the 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championships DIY. Were victorious and did keep their titles, retain. That's the word I'm looking for. Did retain their titles. And now, Smark, I know you knew you were going to be wrong on this next match because Cody Rhodes did win the ladder match for the Undisputed and Winged Eagle Championship belts. They were suspended above the ring. Cody got them. But you stuck to your guns, and I like that.
I mean, they gave me hope for a minute because they had Sammy come out. Like, Cody's climbing the ladder and Sammy's out there, and it's looking like he might help Kevin Owens win. But no, he just sat there and didn't do anything. I was like, oh, boy.
No dice. So, yeah, Cody did win that one. There's no way they're taking that fucking. The only time they would take that thing off him is going to be WrestleMania, and I don't even know if that's going to be something they do.
I don't think this year, unfortunately. The funny thing was like the biggest, most important part of the match, or whatever, the most entertaining part of the match, they spend a solid 5 minutes like battling each other with a little ladder, like a small step ladder that they were like beating each other with, and it was like, this is the most entertaining part of the match. And I'm not sure if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but it is a thing.
Little hornswoggle size ladder.
Literally, yeah. It was like a 2-foot tall ladder.
Little step stool.
Mm-hmm. Literally a step stool. They were just beating each other with it.
Well, you can swing those easier than a regular ladder, and I don't know. Maybe they were gimmicked.
Well, nobody went through it, so I don't know if it was gimmicked or not, but it'd be funny if there's somebody fucking gimmicking like a little tiny step stool that probably doesn't even hurt anyway.
No, probably not. It was probably just easier to swing those and make them look better. They probably sounded better, all that shit. There was some reason, I would hope, that they used those. Let's put it that way. So anyway, then we did get to the Men's Royal Rumble, folks, and boy, I was close. On this one. I thought I had it. And then fucking Jey Uso pulls out a fucking victory. And wow. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
It was kind of funny watching it because, well, you know what was interesting in the men's and in the women's? They didn't do a proper like Final Four. Like I think they did in the men's. They did. Like, it was like down to 6, and they highlighted that there was like they were down to 6 competitors, and everybody that was in there. And in the women's, I think it was only like they focused in on the final 3, if I remember right. So they didn't do like a traditional Final Four. I thought that was interesting. What what's kind of funny is like I felt like immediately as soon as fucking Logan Paul got eliminated, I was just like, well, that's it for me, because it's like either status quo is upheld and Cena wins, or Jey Uso wins, and I would actually rather just Cena wins, because I was actually kind of like, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but I do root for chaos. So the idea of like Logan Paul winning and then challenging Cody and then beating Cody would be like just it'd be perfect for me, because there'd be so many upset people, and I would have loved it. So I was like kind of low key rooting for Logan Paul. I will say I thought him eliminating CM Punk, and I said this as a CM Punk fan, I thought that was fucking brilliant. Like, if you're not going to have Punk win, that is the thing that you can do that can upset the most people possible. So it's like good call on that, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, this was a pretty, I guess you could say, superstar packed Royal Rumble. I mean, you had Punk, Cena, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, who's, I mean, whether you want to call him a fucking star or not, the guy is over as a motherfucker right now. So, but, man, you know, it's weird. A lot of people were very, very pissed off that Jey Uso won.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say pissed off, because I just don't have that emotional capacity anymore to get pissed off per se, but I didn't like the idea of that happening. I know we were talking in private chat. Cheese wasn't a big fan of that either. There's a lot of people. That was kind of the funny thing, was like him winning kind of unearthed the fact that a lot of people just kind of don't like him or don't want to see him in the main event. It's like, I'm not sure that was the reaction that he wanted to get out of that.
Yeah. Spark, blink 3 times if you need me to call the police.
Police.
Oh, shit. Right.
See, pitbulls are often unfairly categorized as violent animals, which is oftentimes untrue. This time it actually is, but in most instances.
He doesn't look too violent. He looks like he's playing, so.
Doesn't feel like it. It hurts like a motherfucker, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Get your hand out of his mouth. Don't you have a toy for that dog to play with?
Dozens.
Okay. Well, that answers that question. But yeah, a lot of people were not happy with Jey Uso winning. I mean, Forbes put out like a whole article why WWE fans are furious with Jey Uso's shocking Royal Rumble win. And there's all kind of tweets here, like when you simulate universe mode for a year. That's one of the top. Okay, whatever. I guess that was a video game reference, I'm assuming. In a year with CM Punk fighting for his Mania main event shot, coming back from injury, John Cena having his last run, Roman wanting redemption, Drew pissed at the world. This is the finish we got.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, I do think it's kind of funny that there's just like a big wrestling mark that works for Forbes that writes these articles, because Forbes has put out plenty of like wrestling related content over the years, which is wild to me. But he's right, though. I mean, there were plenty of stories that you could have gone with. You could have gone with Punk. You could have gone with Cena. You could have went with trucking Drew McIntyre, Roman, even Seth would have been kind of interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
It's sort of underwhelming.
I mean, it is, but let's face it, the guy is fucking over. My problem is everyone is already bitching about him having the title. Like, he already won the title. Look, he hasn't won the title yet. Slow down. Slow down.
I do kind of think that's the story they're telling. Because they basically had him, from what I understand, I didn't watch the match, but he basically kind of got his ass whooped by Gunther. Now he's going to be challenging Gunther again. And the idea is like, it's kind of like a Rocky scenario. If he got beat the first time, he's coming back and he's going to end up winning. And it's like, I don't really watch on a regular basis. I will end up watching WrestleMania, so if he wins, that sucks, but it doesn't really change my life. Like, I'm not going to have to deal with the oppressive thumb of Jey Uso as champion. It's like, it sucks, but you move on with life.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say worst comes to worst, he wins it, and then SummerSlam, he probably loses it. That's probably the longest run he'll have with it. I don't know, man. I just think people are really looking forward and already complaining about it. They're already complaining about him winning the title, and he hasn't yet. Don't
right.
If that has not happened, let's slow the fuck down. If it happens, whatever.
Just a second. I think he needs to go outside. I'll be right back with you.
All right. Calm down, you fickle bitches. Let's put it that way. Calm down, you fickle bitches. Dirk, what is going on, my man? Exactly. There is the Elimination Chamber, and that's probably what Cena's going to win right there. That's going to leave. That's going to probably be Cena right there. That Elimination Chamber win. But then again, they could go with Punk and still do something with Cena. Cena, it doesn't matter, folks. Cena's definitely going to get it. It's one way or the other. He'll end up back where he needs to be. So we all know that. But
what I will say, a couple of things that stand out outside of the whole Jey Uso winning thing.
Yeah.
First off, I thought it was really cool that they, like, number one and number two, they had fucking Rey Mysterio and Penta.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And you had the whole big, like, handshake, and they had their exchange until number three came out. It's really cool. But I believe Penta was also the Iron Man in that match. So it's really cool that they have, like, just made it an immediate priority as soon as he got there to make him look like a star, to make him look like he's going to be a guy that they can, like, a cornerstone for them for, years to come. That's fucking phenomenal. As somebody who has been a fan of his for a very long time at this point, it's been like 10 years. I started watching Lucha Underground, so it's nice to see that he's ascended the ranks, as it were. That was cool. I watched him a little bit on the indies, so, like, I knew what he was capable of. But man, they are making fucking Jacob Fatu look like a beast. Like, he was my favorite part of that match. He was just fucking kicking at, like, he looked like a fucking monster.
Yeah,
he was just throwing people around. It was wild. The two other things I popped for, like, Sheamus got all met. Speaking of Jacob Fatu, like, Joe Hendry came out and he started beating him up. And fucking Sheamus was like, I was enjoying that. Why'd you ruin that for me? You want to be angry? You want to fight somebody? Fight me, motherfucker. You know, he just starts going after Jacob Fatu like that. Was wild. And the last thing was the iShow Speed part.
Oh,
where they just had Braun Breaker just straight up fucking protect the business and just fucking annihilate that poor man. Because it wasn't even like it was a work. Like, you see the replay, he just fucking full speed, full force fucking spears that man as hard as he possibly can. This is like, oof. It reminded me of that moment of, like, when they had the Wild Boys, I think it was. It was like the Jackass guys. It was like Steve O and Chris Pontius. And fucking they were like laughing and smiling. So Maga just beat the shit out of him. It reminded me of that. It was like, oof, tough night for that poor guy.
Yeah. And then Otis, Braun Breaker spears him, throws him out of the ring. Otis catches him and just throws him across the announce table. Did you see the video of his leg?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that? He had just a big, just like not a rug burn, but like a ring burn on his fucking leg, man. I think that was probably from going over the announce table. I don't know. He's lucky he kept his shoes on, because Braun Breaker fucking. I've never seen a spear like that one before. That was the best spear I've ever fucking seen. That was power. He got 2 bounces off the fucking ropes and then hit it.
And, like, he's an athlete and everything. Like, he does a lot of, like, athletic feats and stuff like that. Like, I've seen, like, just clips. I don't really watch him, like, full videos or anything, but I've seen him do, like, athletic things. I've seen him do, like, a little bit of strength training and shit like that. But he is by no means, like, an athlete the way that they are athletes like that. He's not built like a wrestler. He's just a regular ass dude. And, like, he fucking went through him.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. And I saw the video of them, I saw that part too, where they were like, "Show, you're in. I show speed. Go, go, go." He's like, "What? No, I'm not ready." And they're like, "No, go."
Fuck that shit.
fuck that, man. But that was pretty much the only, I guess, non WWE employee that was in this match. There were really no other surprises in this match that anybody would have thought. I mean, and I guess they said Drew McIntyre was pissed, but I guess they're saying it was all about Logan Paul, and I guess Logan Paul was doing something in the ring when he was getting eliminated, but I don't know. There's so many stories going around. For all we know, Drew was just doing his fucking job and selling something, but I don't know, man. I got no problem with Jey Uso winning. The guy is over his shit right now, and I even saw a lot of people saying, well, they should have just done this last year. It's like, what? Why? Why would they have done this last year? The guy is 1,000 times over than he is last year. So that's definitely not one thing. But I think they did this all in good timing. I got no problem with Jey Uso winning. Not at all.
I could think of better people, but yeah, it didn't change my world for the better or for the worse. It was like, no, that was a thing that happened.
Dirk sent me a video of some dude and he does a podcast. I forget his name. Dirk, maybe he'll put it up there.
Dave Meltzer.
No, it's not Dave Meltzer, but my God, this guy's disdain for Charlotte.
Oh, fucking, was it Dave LaGreca? I know he made a video just like screaming at the top of his lungs about some dumb bullshit, but I didn't bother watching because I don't care what he has to say. Here it is.
Oh yeah, OTRS Central. That guy. Oh my God, he does not like Charlotte. Oh my God. Oh my God, he was calling her a Botox face bitch and all kinds of shit, and I'm like, dude, take it easy. Show me on the doll where Charlotte hurt you. My gosh, man.
As much as I'm inclined to say that people are reacting that way just because, that's like good content, quote unquote, and it's just like that's what's going to get clips, go viral, that kind of thing. He's just like trying to do it as a little bit of an act, putting on a show, sort of this, over exaggerating how he actually feels about things. I do remember I was like at a house show with a fan. This guy was in a wheelchair, and I just remember like he hated John Cena more than anything and anyone like on the face of this earth. And like he said at the time that his wife was like this fat, ugly bitch and that he hated her too. And it was like this was like almost unprompted. So it's like there really are people who just like strongly hate these motherfuckers for whatever reason or another.
Yeah, but I mean, and the thing is he was making really valid points, but he was just getting a little harsh with the valid points. I wasn't disagreeing with the guy. I disagreed with him on his Jey Uso opinion. He's the one that was saying Jey Uso.
Actually a really great gimmick if you think about it. Like if that's what he's putting on a show, it's like I like the idea of somebody who has a nuanced opinion, but then he just like says the most hateful shit like layered in that. Because he's just like, I think it was really boring, uninspired booking to have a very predictable finish of this year's female rumble when they fucking stupid come cuss like bitch Charlotte Flair. It's just like, what? You okay?
He went off on her, man, and I was like, I'm driving and I'm not watching the guy. I'm listening to it. I literally had to pull into a gas station so I could see his reaction. And man, he was throwing his hands up and he was, oh man. But like I said, the guy was making very good points. It's just some of the bad stuff for Charlotte, man. It was crazy. He is to JD. JD's just got y'all. He'll go with the wind as long as it makes him money, folks. I don't think y'all have figured that one out yet, but y'all will.
Brother is working.
You will. All he's doing is saying whatever he needs to get money from you guys. If the internet's saying A, he'll go with B. If the internet's saying, black, he's going to say white. And then everybody gets pissed at him, and they may give him money, and then he shits on AEW, and everyone gives him more money. See the formula? I see the formula. I won't do that. I don't, but I get it. You can say it's smart.
That's the way the game is played. It would be less. It would be like less pathetic. If it wasn't like people on ESPN are getting paid fucking millions of dollars to do the same thing. Like actual like former athletes and journalists are getting paid to do the same type of performative outrage that he does. You got fucking. It's even sadder that like actual wrestlers are doing that shit too, or people that are involved in the business. It's like
I can't come on here and fake my emotions about stuff. I don't know. I mean, we just come on here and fucking talk. Like, I mean, we've said this before. People don't realize we don't chat about this shit before the Smart came on at 8:31 tonight, my time, 9:31 his. We're supposed to start.
It was early this time.
You're right.
No. I was 8:28 this time. I'm usually 5 to 10 minutes late every other week.
You're right. I was looking at my phone. I was looking at my phone. I didn't see you until 31 after. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Fair. But anyway, we had chatted a little bit about the Rumble on Messenger, but that's it. I don't know. We don't talk. We just come on here. And what you get is what you get. This is it. We don't come up with bits. We don't do bits. We don't do shit like that. If y'all hear us doing bits, guess what? We just fucking thought of it right now. So
yeah, we've actually been at each other's throats for the last 2 to 3 years. There's a lot of like animosity in the DMs on Facebook. A lot of terrible things being thrown at each other in terms of insults and rhetoric and things of that nature.
That Smart gets drunk and calls people. I don't know what the fuck to do. Okay, I'm going to take his messenger away.
It's actually true. I was doing a bit that you decided to be honest with that. That hasn't happened in at least, let's see, 3 to 4 years. But hey, you know, it's happened before.
See what I mean? We just throw a little reality into it, folks. That's how we do it.
Brother, shoot. Oh no.
It was half a shoot. We've joked about it before, so it was worth throwing at you again.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I think we were done with mostly done with the Rumble. I don't know if you had anything else on the men's, but listen, it wasn't bad. Long fucking match, but no. And by the way, you were 100% right on Penta. 42 minutes and 5 seconds. Longest out of anybody. Longest of anybody. Ludwig Kaiser, 6 seconds. Sorry, buddy.
Tough break.
Poor Ludwig.
Honestly, I mean, not really. Like, unless you're just like totally in it to like. I mean, I can't really think of a better way to say it, but unless you're a mark, like the idea of just like you go to work and you're like, all right, we're going to need you to work for 6 seconds. You're not taking any bumps. You're just getting eliminated immediately. It's like, all right, cool. Like, fan-fucking-tastic. As long as the check clears.
As long as the check's fucking deposited, I don't give a shit.
Because I was thinking about that, because like especially not this year, but like last year, you had Chelsea Green like debut, or not really debut, return, and she was gone like 5 seconds, and I think 4 seconds, whatever, and like people got like really mad about it. But it was like, hey, like if you're her, she managed to turn it into a thing. That's one point, but the bigger point is that like she got paid for 4 seconds of work. She didn't get hurt at. Fucking nobody touched her. She went in, she went out. Like, save a good day and at work.
What about Tozawa? Never even had to fucking make it into. Never even had to go walk. He didn't even have to walk all the way to the ring and got paid.
He put out a tweet that was kind of funny because he was like, "This is my first Royal Rumble. I hope to last longer next year." And it's like, rock on.
I think he put like one step closer or something like that.
Yeah, it was something in the tune of like, "Well, didn't go the way I'd hoped for, but better luck next time because back to catering with me."
Fuck it, man. He's got to get. It was a funny tweet. I liked it. It was good. It was good, but yeah, man, that was. It wasn't a bad Royal Rumble at all. Just both of those matches were pretty long. That men's match was like an hour and 20 minutes. It was like, all right, enough already.
It was like 4.5 hours, a little bit over, I think, because it started at 6 and was over a little bit after 10:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, for 4 matches, that was a long pay-per-view, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long pay-per-view, but let's see the Rumble. Let's see here. Let's do this. The women's Royal Rumble match went 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 20 seconds. DIY went exactly 14 minutes. Those guys were fucking nailing it out there. 14 minutes. That felt like a longer match. Oh, well. Cody and Kevin Owens went 25:05, and the men's Royal Rumble went 1:20:15. So, yeah, long, but think about that. Okay, what do we got here? Hour and two, so that's 2.5 hours right there. 2.5. All right, there's 3 hours and 15 minutes. All the rest, you had over an hour and 15 minutes of fucking bullshit shoved in there that made it last longer. So an hour and a half, like over an hour and a half of bullshit shoved in there.
There's a lot of commercials.
Yeah, that's part of it too. So, oh, well, there you go. And that was rough math, obviously. That wasn't exact. So, anyway, that was the Royal Rumble. There we go. We don't talk a ton of WWE on here, but I figured we would tonight since Royal Rumble, man. Who doesn't want to talk about the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah.
There you have it. So, while we're talking about WWE, let's keep going with that a little bit. WWE and Tubi, I'm sure you guys know what Tubi is, have announced that there is going to be a relaunch of Evolve, WWE Evolve. Now, we all know they were doing a bunch of work with those guys way back, well, not way back when, just a little while back. But it looks like it's obviously continuing. And I guess Gabe Sapolsky's coming back to run this and everything. So, wow. It's pretty crazy. But here we go. Let's get the logo up there. I'll get the logo up there for you guys. Give me a second. Get that logo up there for y'all. And we can start reading here. There it is. That's the logo. All they did was take the Evolve logo and shove their logo in the middle of it.
They spent hours coming up with them.
Someone at Creative asked for more money because of that. You realize that, right?
Mm-hmm. It was me. I said, fellas, if I'm going to fire up MS Paint, I want at least $20 more.
Dude, I could have done this with Word. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they just found a fucking blank PNG of the WWE logo and just fucking copy pasted it right into the center of the Evolve logo.
Yeah, little transparency will do amazing things. But there you go, folks. I just thought I'd show you the logo real quick, and now I got to stop it so I can scroll my screen, and I'm gonna do that. So WWE and Tubi, Fox Corporation. This is a Fox Corporation ad-supported stream service. They announced, when was this article? This doesn't have a date. It was a few days ago. They announced the launch of WWE Evolve, which will showcase in-ring action featuring rising WWE prospects as they wrestle with the dream of making it to NXT. So this is the ID program at work, a lot of it, which will probably be going against some other NXT stars. Now, here's the kicker. It's slated to premiere March 5th, 2025 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Tubi. And there's going to be a new episode every Wednesday at 8 p.m. They're putting something else up against AEW Dynamite again. They're doing it. They can't stop themselves, can they? They can't. Oh, shit. All right. So there you go. Every Wednesday, right at 8 p.m., you guys can watch this on Tubi. And I think on Tubi you can do some on-demand stuff, so don't have to watch it on Wednesday. But this is basically what we're going to get now is WWE Evolve. and it should be pretty. It might not be a bad show, but it's literally going to be some of those ID program guys and some other guys coming out there. I mean, look, WWE has taken plenty of guys from Evolve. I think Drew McIntyre was once in Evolve. Austin Theory, I believe, was in Evolve. So they've gotten a few guys from Evolve anyway, but this is just going to be another show. And like I said, I believe Gabe Sapolsky is coming back for this. I think I heard that. I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure that's what someone said. So good stuff, man. Good stuff.
According to the outlet for the most accurate information there is, Wikipedia, he's with them, and he's been with them for a while. I know he was with them he was with them a couple of years ago, but I didn't know if he was still there or not. But yeah, apparently he still is. So good for him.
Yeah. Yep.
That motherfucker's been in the game for a minute now. He was working the fucking ECW hotline.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Even back then, already was. So, now, Smark, did you see any clips of the Danhausen interview on Chris Van Vliet?
I saw one, I believe.
Well, I don't have any.
Okay, fuck him. Let's move on.
We could pull a couple, I guess. I could go to YouTube real quick and pull a couple if you want. But he did. I mean, he did this interview completely out of makeup, completely as just whatever his real name is. But he didn't pull any punches though when it came to his absence and why they're and basically he wants to be used more in AEW, and I can understand why he would. The crowd fucking loves him. I don't understand why Tony doesn't like this guy or doesn't use this guy. I'd use this guy as much as I could if I was a promoter. But Chris asked him a little bit about the absence from AEW, and this is what he had to say. He said, "For a long time I was there. I just wasn't doing anything," Danhausen said, which is like, if you don't have anything for me, that's fine, but I feel like we have to find something for me. At this point, they were just like, you can stay home. And I was like, okay, cool. That's great, because I appreciate that, because then I'm not just being brought out to whatever. And then they were letting me do the indies and doing the conventions, and it just helps me, again, stay sharp, which is in turn for them. And also, still, I always looked at that as still representing the company then, in a way, because I'm on these shows. So that's better than me just not being seen on the show. So he's taking it pretty good. But he definitely, I don't know, if you listen to it, you can tell the guy really does want to be on television more. He wants to be on AEW more. Like I said, man, I don't know if you agree with me, but every time he comes out, the crowd used to fucking go nuts for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really liked him, but it's undeniable that he has a fan base. There was a lot of people at a time that wanted to see him, and there probably still is a lot of people that want to see him. But I mean, that's the problem. Is I don't know if they signed him with the idea that they wanted to also have gimmicks and storylines and stuff incorporated with what they were doing, being a more wrestling based company, and then they just decided that they just really wanted to focus a lot more on wrestling and less on characters. But I mean, that's the unfortunate part. It's a good gimmick, I guess, but he's just very limited as to what he can do in the ring.
Okay. If you gave me a choice between the Beast Mortos and Danhausen, I'd pick Danhausen.
You really hate Mortos for some reason. I don't understand why.
I'm just saying. I'm
not accusing you of anything, but it's just funny because you spent 2 or 3 weeks calling him Latin Mantar, and then you're like, what, if I have to kill one person, Danhausen or Mortos, I'll put fucking 2 between his eyes. So it's Jesus.
I didn't say kill. Nowhere in my statement was kill. I just said if I had to choose between the two in a wrestling capacity, Smark, I would choose Danhausen. You take any, I mean, they've got plenty of little gimmicks in AEW. Danhausen was a fun gimmick. You know what Danhausen did? Sold merch. Had the kids coming fucking in his face paint. Maybe that's something they need to think about.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. The kids were doing what in his face?
Oh, come on. I mean,
oh, that's what they're doing?
They were going to the show in his face paint.
Where is it? Give me a second.
Hey, some of them might have been doing that too. You never know.
I mean, it's pretty bad for his. I mean, I guess it'd be good for the skin. It's a moisturizer of a sort, but you got the kids over here coming in Danhausen's face paint.
I would think it would dry it out. I don't know. I'm not sure. Wow, that totally just threw me off. I think I had a point there, but I can't even remember it.
Kids are really horny for Danhausen, apparently.
No, I don't think that was my point. That was your point. I think now we just need to move on. I can't even go anywhere with this anymore. I think we just need to fucking more Danhausen. That's what I'm saying. We need more Danhausen. Tony Khan, think about that. Bring this guy back. It cannot hurt to bring this guy back to your company. The only thing it can do is get you selling more Danhausen merchandise. And what is the problem with that?
I will say to actually offer maybe an attempt at a nuanced opinion. I wouldn't count on it. Don't hold your breath. He needs to do something to incorporate his character into storylines, like to be able to work with people. Because, like, I mean, you look at like what Toni Storm's doing. Like, Toni Storm does a really good job of incorporating her character and playing off of people with her character, like including them within the universe. Like, it seemed like kind of like Danhausen. The problem with that was like he was just doing Danhausen things, and like it wasn't really a collaboration as much as him doing the shit that got him over, which good for him. But like, I kind of feel like there was like a similar problem with like the Fiend. It's just like other people didn't really work within the parallels of that universe or parameters of that universe, I guess.
Well, I mean, him and Hook were a good team when they were running around doing stuff. Put him back with fucking Hook for a little bit till you figure out what to do with him. I know Hook's with Joe right now, but we know that's not going to last. Joe's going to fucking kill him eventually.
Well, that's what he was saying. He's like, well, I like teaming with Hook. Can I team with Hook again? He's like, no, that's for Joe. That's not for you.
Yeah. Right. Once Joe's done, what's Hook going to do? So, I don't know. And by the way, Toni Storm.
I mean, honestly, we'll talk about Toni Storm in a minute. I would say, there's no reason if he wants to, there's no reason why Joe couldn't be a manager. Like, he's a good talker. You could just make him fucking Hook's manager if you could. Like, they still want to keep doing shit with him when Joe decides he's going to wrestle.
Well, that could happen, but Toni Storm sure could have incorporated that ass the other night.
My goodness.
I wish she'd wear that a little more. That was looking good. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a little while. But we do have the. But yeah, let's move on from Danhausen now that we've ruined it for everybody and ourselves and everybody. Way to go, Smart. Good job.
Hey, we're talking about. Let's see here. Since we're talking about Samoa Joe, I noticed we didn't really talk about it, but he's actually going to be in a video game. Did you know that?
No, which one?
It's one of the Yakuza games. I enjoy it quite. I'm going to go ahead and send you a link. I'll read a little bit about it because it's from ESPN. I'm going to throw it here in the private chat for you.
Yeah.
But I noticed that he was a part of like the promotional material for the game because it's coming out, I think, on the 21st. Sega has released a new me scrolling, unfortunately, released a new Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii trailer ahead of the Action Games February 21st release date, which has properly revealed AEW star Samoa Joe's role. Sega previously teased Samoa Joe's involvement in an earlier trailer, but offered no details on who the wrestler played or his connection to the story. Like a Dragon pirate Yakuza in Hawaii follows Goro Majima, the series' frequent antagonist and occasional hero after he washes up in a Hawaiian beach with no memory of how he got there. Majima rescues a child from some criminals, requisitions set sail, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so he's going to be in a new video game. He's a big part of the trailer, so I guess he's going to have a pretty big role in the game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there he is right there.
I went ahead and decided to stop reading because it's really impossible to read while somebody's trying to bite the shit out of your kneecaps.
Oh, yeah. I'll take a quick see if there's any. Well, I'm gonna have to. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna have to scroll for a minute. First of all, I like the name of the game, like a dragon pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It really looks like a good game, to be honest.
I've played a couple of them because it's a series of games. Because it started off as Yakuza. It was like kind of a not open world, but it was a linear. It was a crime game. Mm-hmm. You play a member of the Yakuza, as the title would leads to believe, and then the Like a Dragon part was like a spin-off of that. It was pretty interesting. They do some real wild, like fucking side quests and missions and shit in the game. There's a lot of wrestling related stuff in some of the Yakuza games. I think it was the third or fourth one or something like that. They were incorporated New Japan wrestlers into the story. So like they've done a lot of wrestling related stuff in the past. So it doesn't surprise me that Joe's getting a role in the game. That's kind of cool though.
Let's play the trailer. Fuck it, might get in trouble, but I don't give a shit. Here, let's play the trailer for everybody here. Y'all ready? Here we go.
You hear? Most places in the world, people would clap for that. We ain't in most places, though, are we? Welcome to Madlantis, Captain Majima. A sanctuary from petty laws and regulations, a place that light can never reach. You must be quite the busy man, Captain. Before long, we'll all be off to the races.
Is that Ricochet?
Right there. Let's pick it up a notch.
It seems you've been hard at work on your ship.
That ain't good.
Men like us use every dirty trick we can to get the upper hand, don't we? You and me can't help but feel like we have a lot to discuss. The cannons of Madlantis forgive no offense.
Fire!
You readied up?
So there you go.
It's like a pretty fucking good game to me.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I played the first one. I liked it. It was pretty good. It's cool that Joe's getting like presumably a couple of roles now doing like voice acting and stuff because he's a fucking great voice for it, a great intensity for it. He's got the charisma to pull it off.
Yeah. Wait till he starts playing roles as prisoners. It'll be perfect.
Mm.
Oh, he will. Oh, he will. He will. Yeah, he will. Goldberg has played a prisoner a couple of times.
He played Santa Claus.
Yes, he did. Kind of. Kind of Santa Claus. He was more of a serial killer.
Yes.
I have seen that movie. So, what was it? Santa's Sleigh?
That's right.
That was it? I actually think I watched that in a Without Your Head watch party way back in the day.
That's wild.
Over there on Nasty Neil's show.
Shout out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I watched that, actually. That and Basket Case was another one I watched over there with those guys.
That's cool.
I had seen that, though. It was one of my dad's favorite movies when I was a kid. My dad loves horror movies.
Nice.
My dad loves horror movies and cowboy movies. Every time I go over there now, they're always watching some sort of old Western.
It's kind of interesting that there's not a crossover with any of those. I can't think of any like Western-themed horror movies.
Oh, man. There is one. There is a.
I mean, I guess from dusk till dawn, kind of, sort of.
Well,
not really.
Believe it or not, Wesley Snipes has an Old West movie that's kind of a sci-fi killer zombie type movie.
Mm.
I wonder what. Well, wait a minute. Let me see what that movie's classified as before I say anything. Called Gallow Walkers. DDP is in it. It's a Western horror. Bam, nailed it. Western horror right there.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Gallow Walkers with Wesley Snipes. It's a weird movie, but it's actually not a bad movie at all. I actually thought it was a pretty goddamn movie. A good movie. I liked it. I've watched it way more than once, but it's a little weird. So there you go. There's your Western horror right there.
Right on.
Yeah. There's it's got everything. Like I said, zombies, whores.
Zombie horse, right on.
Coming back from the no, not zombie whores. Well, maybe one or two. Actually, yes, one. He actually says he actually calls her my whore the whole movie.
Nice.
My whore. Her name is Kiss Cut, but he calls her my whore. Yeah. It's listen, it's not like, oh my God, I have to watch this movie, but I think it was on Hulu a while back. Let me pull that page back up. I can actually tell you if you want to watch it, I can tell you where to watch it. Prime Video.
There you go.
Watch it right on Prime Video right now. Gallow Walkers, one word. One word. Two W's. Two W's, one word. Gallow Walkers. See Wesley Snipes rip the spine out of the undead.
Nice.
Yep, but he's a cowboy.
Not a steel horse he rides.
Uh-huh. And he's wanted.
Dead or alive.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to watch fucking Deadliest Catch.
There you go.
I used to watch that show. After Phil died, I just couldn't. It was tough to watch.
I found it tough to watch while he was still alive, but hey.
I liked that show. I liked Wicked Tuna better. That seemed more like I could do this. I couldn't do that Deadliest Catch shit. I could do what those guys on the tuna boats were doing.
Okay.
That just seemed more, my God, this is something I could do. But yeah, I don't know. I still got I finally got my boat back. My boat's outside.
I don't know. It just shows like that kind of fell into a category of just, it seemed like it was targeted towards a specific demographic, and it just was not part of the demographic of just like, I don't know, 35-year-old, 40-something-year-old dads who just like are a fan of like the hard living type shows. You have like fucking Deadliest Catch. You have like Ice Road Truckers. These are the Wicked Tuna, Wild Tuna, whatever it was. I'm just like the like men's men reality show job type shit. It's just like, nah, I don't really care.
I never saw the Ice Road Truckers show. I have watched the movie with Liam Neeson and Lawrence Fishburne, The Ice Road.
There you go.
So, but I've heard of it, but never watched that. The shows I like I said, I like Deadliest Catch, but Wicked Tuna was a damn good show. I liked Wicked Tuna because that wasn't like, those guys were just having a good time and they made a lot of money, but they weren't in like these horribly dangerous conditions all the time like Deadliest Catch. They were not. They were like on the fucking seas of Gloucester in Boston. They weren't exactly in like, in the middle of nowhere. The middle of the Baltic Sea and could die at any second. That's not where they were. Shit. I looked it up. I could drive 5 hours here and go tuna fishing if I really wanted to.
Yes.
I mean, I know how to fish. I never tuna fish, but I'd like to learn. I wouldn't mind learning how to do that. I want to learn how to fly fish too. I haven't learned how to fly fish.
Interesting.
I'm just a bass. I like doing bass fishing and shoreline or boat deep sea fishing, but mostly I do bass fishing. I got a little Bass Tracker 17.5-foot boat.
Right out.
Let me see here. See if I can get a picture of my boat. Yeah, that's my boat right there.
That's one nice dinghy, my friend.
Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's my boat right there. Mine's a little older, but that's my boat.
Oh, well, hold on a minute now. You can receive a $500 gift card from Bass Pro Shops, you said.
That's where I got my boat, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I went to Michigan to see my buddy Mike, and they took me out bass fishing on the boat. And I got back, and 3 days later, I was driving a boat home from Bass Pro Shop.
As one does, yeah.
I'm like, I need to be doing this. And I called my buddy, and a year later, he moved back, and we fished every fucking weekend, man. I was waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We'd go fishing.
Sounds good.
Yep. Crack a beer. Around 6:15, 6:30. Start the day.
Nice.
Because the fish don't bite until they hear the can open. Then they start biting.
I see.
All right. You pour a little out for the fishies.
And the dead homies.
For my
But
dead
it's not
fishies.
good.
For my dead fishies out there, baby. All right. Nah, but yeah, we used to. That's exactly what we used to do. Get up, go get my boat. Then I would go pick up my man Mike, and we'd fish all fucking day. Then go back and go to sleep. And go out drinking again.
Hell yeah.
Oh. God, I can't believe I fucking lived through that time. Ooh. Tough times, man. Tough times. But anyway, enough of boats and fishing and shit like that. Let's get back to Elijah, who used to be Elias in WWE, posted a video of him walking alongside the Righteous. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Give me a second. I'm getting the video pulled up right now. There it is. Let me back it up. Let me give it some sound because we need sound. It says it has sound. I probably have this page muted. I don't. All right, let's see if it's got sound. Let me share it and we'll go from there. I like it. This is live shit, folks.
And so he became the Righteous One. A new journey begins, a search, a calling, a destiny. He would encounter a gang of righteous men, and they were of one mind and of one spirit. And they walked amongst the dead, spreading their message of truth in a world full of wicked lies. And to those who responded to the call, the chance to be made righteous. The grave is the door to your rebirth, through the flames of perdition, to be reborn a righteous man.
See what I'm saying, man?
And so I ask, who wants to run with the righteous ones?
Well, there you have it.
tongue flicking thing is a little much. So yeah, I guess they have hired that guy, Elijah, formerly Elias. I guess they needed a guitar player in the Righteous. I don't know.
Of course.
I don't know.
Every cult needs a guitar player.
They're a good group, and they were coming out on. They came out a couple times on Dynamite. Everybody liked them too. There's another one. They just decided, no, just stick them on ROH and leave them there.
I don't dislike them. Like, I want to like them, but I really wish they would just tweak a couple of things to just make them seem less like a ripoff of the Wyatt family. Like, first off, just change the theme music a little bit.
Okay. And
maybe not so many like vignettes and like backwoods swamps, because that was like big NXT Wyatt family stuff. Was like just every promo seemed like it was cut in a fucking swamp. So like maybe knock that off, and then change the music. I don't know. Well, like you sort of concurrently have two different. I mean, I guess Ring of Honor and then one's AEW proper, but you have two different cult stables. Because I mean, Dark Order is technically still a thing. They just get beat up by like fucking Moxley's group every week now, but they're still technically a thing, and I guess they're still kind of sort of a cult.
I don't think so.
I mean, they started off that way. They were for sure a cult when they started.
They were, and they were recruiting people, and then suddenly it just became, okay, now we're just a joke, so let's just make jokes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know I don't know. Dark Order just kind of sucked and still sucks, and we'll see.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No, it was stupid then. It was stupid. We bitched about it when it was going on. It was just not right when, especially when they stopped recruiting people. That's what the whole gimmick was, is we're taking these people, we're recruiting them, we're brainwashing them, and then they weren't. And once they stopped doing that, it's kind of, well, what's the point of this fucking group? So,
well, I mean, to some level, I understand, because like a lot of the, Brody Lee passed away, and then like you can't have them be like straight up villains in the wake of that. So you gotta be good guys for a minute, but then like after that, just nothing really happened. Like you could have made them heels again and like had them go back to what the original intent of the stable or faction, whatever it is. At the beginning, after a couple of weeks, months, whatever, you could just sort of go back to business as usual with them. But they didn't really do that, so now they're just sort of meandering in whatever position they're in right now.
Meandering, I like that. Meandering, yeah, I guess they are. But I mean, they take people off TV for so long, you just forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You completely forget about it. You just don't know what the fuck happened to them. So I don't know. It's very weird. I mean, when they bring Miro back, everyone's going to be like, oh, yay. What's he back for one match? He may get a pop.
Really going to join the Righteous and just have, hey, he's going to be like the drum player. You got a guitar player, you got a drum player. Maybe he'll play like the ukulele.
There you go. I like that. Ukulele. Although it's kind of guitarish.
The recorder, the harp.
The harp, I like that. I like that. That would be very, very nice. Very calming.
Mm-hmm.
He just lulls his opponents to sleep.
What the fuck did he do wrong to just like the wrestling world, the universe? I don't know. Because like people love him, and he's not charismatic. Like he has to be a certain type of character. Like you don't want him cutting long promos, but you can have him just cut like a 2-minute I'm gonna rip your fucking face off promo, and everyone loves it, and he has the intensity for it, and it works for him. But just for whatever reason, fucking WWE didn't want to use him. AEW doesn't want to use him.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I believe he asked for his release from WWE, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't necessarily blame him.
No, I don't either. They were treating him and Lana like shit.
It's like, all right, so you're selling a lot of T-shirts. So the idea is that we're going to put you in an angle where Bobby Lashley fucks your wife. It's like, can I go anywhere else, please? It's like, yeah.
Well, he did that angle, and then he was like, I got to get out of here. I mean,
and then they divorced for real.
And then they divorced, so now he's on his own. But they always try to say that he he says no to storylines that he doesn't like. Oh my God, the guy stands up for himself. Maybe he doesn't, I mean, but I don't know. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he actually stands up for himself and there's no room for that in wrestling. Just fucking good boy, be a good boyo and do what you're told.
I suppose.
So, you know, maybe he's a problem smart because he actually stands up for what he like, you know, himself.
My favorite quote, well, one of my favorite quotes of many from this individual was like, I was watching an old New Jack Shoot interview like Saturday, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And he said, he's like, look, here's the thing. Before I was in wrestling, I was in jail. And if they didn't fuck me in there, they're not fucking me here. This is like, right on, dude.
I think that was one of the U-shoots.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
I think so. I think it was one of those U-shoots. Miss you, New Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, Smark.
Yes.
That whole Ring Boy lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's still going to happen. Yeah, that's still going to happen. Now, remember we had talked about this back in October. There was a stay that happened in December after this was filed in October. I think we talked about this back in December where there was a stay put on this for a decision on the constitutional on whether this was constitutional or not, because it happened because of the Child Victims Act of 2023. Now, what that act went into effect last November or October, and it allowed victims of child sex abuse to sue their alleged perpetrators with no statute of limitations. So that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It is a good thing. So with that being said, this will go to trial. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday that the act was constitutional. It was a 4-3 vote. And this will keep going. Now, I don't think Linda was mentioned. She was mentioned in this, but not a lot, just as being a knowing party of all this. But there you go. That's still going to happen. So interesting, huh?
I think so. I mean, I am a little bit surprised that is still ongoing. I figured it might have been dropped, circumstances being what they are. But yeah, it is interesting.
Again, they were trying to see if this Child's Victim Act was even constitutional, and obviously the Supreme Court ruled that it was. So this is another case that will go on. Now, obviously, we know that Vince and Linda were separated last year. The Washington Post decided to report that and let us know. And so I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to touch her because she was nominated by Trump as the Secretary of Education. So they might not be able to touch her. We'll find out what happens here. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they didn't really say she was involved, just had knowledge of and kept it. So
right.
We'll see what happens with her, but otherwise, that's not the only law news we got to talk about tonight, folks. Oh, no. Janel Grant has this wonderful case going on against Vince McMahon, and we had talked last month about how they were looking to get a meeting, and they had to, in this meeting, they would have had to introduce new evidence or amend their case in some way. Well, on January 31st, which was the deadline, they did amend their case. What they did is they added Brock Lesnar to the case.
So much for that Elite's return, huh?
They named him. Yeah, exactly. They actually named him. In the original one, it said that it was former UFC heavyweight champion and WWE superstar. Now, it certainly wasn't CM Punk because he's not a former champion. So there was only one former UFC champion, heavyweight champion in WWE, and that is obviously Brock Lesnar. Well, this is alleging that Brock Lesnar was promised as part of a contractual negotiation sex with Janel Grant. It never went through, and it never happened. The return happened, but the sex never happened. I guess maybe some pictures were thrown out there, and that was about it. So that's one thing. And she also has named, boy, not surprised, WWE Hall of Famer and longtime producer Michael Hayes was also named in the amended lawsuit. Grant alleges that McMahon also demanded that she make personalized sexual content for Hayes, which was also intended to be shared with members of the crew. Now, this is important. They are not named as defendants in the lawsuit, but they are bringing them into it as having knowledge. So these could be witnesses for the defense that they're bringing up here, which is why they're being named. So
if this actually goes to court, I would love more than anything in the world to just see a courtroom where they're fucking examining Michael Hayes and he has on the fucking purple suit and the purple fedora, and they're just like, you know what, though, like this fucking you're guilty of something. You're also going to jail. Get in here.
Sir, can we just breathalyze you before you speak at all?
Oof, yeah, do not have him near open flames.
You seem to have a fifth of wild turkey sticking out of your jacket pocket there.
I'm going to tell you one more time. If you do not turn off that entrance music, I am going to hold you in contempt of court. You are not allowed to have theme music as you walk to the bench.
Sir, please turn off Bad Street USA. Your phone is really annoying the court.
I'm going to ask you one more time what the fuck Terry Gordy has to do with any of this. And if you go on another 20-minute tangent, you are going to jail. I'm just letting you know right now.
Shit. Well, then I was Doc Hendricks. And, I
used to manage the Hardy Boys. I still have those Jinko jeans. Hey, let me ask you a question, son. You ever hear of Rosa Mendez?
Good friend of mine. Had a few drinks with her. Oh, shit. Anyway, so they did amend their lawsuit by adding a few names to it. And there you go. Now, some of you may have been saying, my God, how is this happening? She signed an NDA and she breached the deal. Well, she's basically saying that McMahon broke the agreement by failing to pay, but McMahon only failed to pay after he heard about this on the news. So I don't know, man. I don't see this sticking to Vince. So all they're trying to do at this point is ruin the man's name, which isn't that hard to do. Literally just let the guy talk. He'll ruin his own name. So I don't know. Maybe that's what they're hoping to do is get him into court and have him just fucking blab his mouth off. And I guess she has some more receipts. She's got some voicemails that they transcribed and other things. So there are a few more things in this case that they did break that will keep it going. So 2 lawsuits against Vince McMahon going on right now. Both are going to continue. And there you go. What a time.
Yeah, you said you don't think anything's going to come of it. But honestly, I feel like the longer this goes on without it getting dropped, like, I'm not so sure.
I just don't think she's going to get what she's looking for out of this case. I mean, come on. Vince's lawyers are always, I mean, he's got enough money to pay for the best lawyers. Her lawyer seems a little, how do I say this? Off her rocker. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know, man. I think we should get into Dynamite. What do you think?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, innocence can be bought, but after a while, like, sometimes that shit just still doesn't work. I mean, fucking, they got Diddy. They got fucking Bill Cosby.
They got Gotti.
True? Was he a sex offender?
No, but I mean, he was the Teflon Don. Think how many times. I mean, he was one of the first guys in history to beat a federal RICO case.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first guys in fucking history. Now, though, now the jury may or may not have been swayed in that case, but he was a Teflon Don. They could never get him on anything. They tried. And the guy was literally in jail still committing murder anyway. So what did it matter?
Right.
But, I mean, yeah, if you watch the Travolta movie, I prefer the Amanda Sante one myself.
I mean, I think I'd rather just read.
You can do that, too. Smart. You can just read.
I mean, I'm not going to do either of those things, but if I was the option of like actually, if I had to learn about the guy, I think I'd rather just like read a biography or something than watch a John Travolta movie. That doesn't really seem like a prudent use of my time that I'm not going to get back.
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, the Gotti movie.
Fair enough.
I did. I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it was pretty good, and it. I don't know. It kind of filled in a lot of the gaps the other movie did. Armando Sante supposedly did a better job playing Gotti, and I definitely think he did. But the John Travolta one was pretty informative. It was a pretty good movie.
Fair enough.
So, anyway, let's get into this AEW Dynamite show, folks. It kicks off. We got Prince Nana and Swerve walking backstage. Him and Ricochet did get the main event. We'll talk about that later. We see Tony Storm walking in. We see Ricochet backstage. And I like the way they started this first match, Mark. I do. Renee was outside talking to Jay White. Well, it wasn't really the first match. It was the first segment. Let's put it that way. First segment, excuse me. Renee's outside talking to Jay White. Next thing you know, the Death Riders come up. And he's like, uh-oh, a little scared. Renee's a little scared. And then you see behind them FTR and Cope. Dude, we had a Cope chant tonight. I don't know if you noticed that, but last night they were a Cope chant in the audience. Atlanta was a hot crowd for this show, man. They were a hot fucking crowd.
Yeah, they were.
I thought they were, man. I really thought they were. But this little brawl dragged through the backstage. And I love that Marina Shafir just like picked up Renee and got her out of there. Like Moxley said, just get Renee the fuck out of the way.
Right.
And Marina Shafir just goes, leans down, puts her on her shoulder, and walks away with her. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But this fight ends up all the way in the ring. The crowd was loving this shit. Absolutely loving this shit. And like I said, man, we got a fucking Cope chant. What? You knew it was coming eventually.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that it happened. It definitely happened.
It did happen. Cope challenges Moxley to a match at Revolution for the title. Mox says no. Then Jay White says okay.
Challenges Mox for the title. He says no. Cope says all right. Fair enough.
All right. So instead, it's going to be Jay White and Adam Copeland against, I think it was Claudio and what's his name, John Moxley, in a Brisbane, what did he call it? A Brisbane brawl, or wasn't a Brisbane bar fight?
The Brisbane Brawl for All.
I don't know. In a Brisbane no rules match, put it that way. And they did accept. So there you go. They got one match at least accepted. But yeah, I couldn't believe we got a fucking Cope chant. This crowd was a very chanty crowd. They chanted a lot. They really did. But we got a fucking Cope chant, man. You knew it was coming. You knew it was. And they showed a funny segment from Collision with Buddy Murphy and Okada. You know, everyone keeps saying, oh, Okada, can't believe he's being used like this. He looks like he's having the best time of his life doing this.
It definitely does look that way, yes.
He looks like he's having fun in this role, not having to be this serious guy overseas. Looks like he's having a great time. I wish everyone would just leave him the fuck alone. I thought it was funny. Buddy Murphy calls him a bitch, and he's like, I'm not a bitch. And then he looks over at, what's her name? And I'm no bitch. And she's like, yeah, sure. But I don't know, man. I really thought this was a really good episode of Dynamite, as we'll keep going through it. But then we get this Will Ospreay match. I mean, the crowd was loving this. Even after the match, they were chanting for Ospreay. Now, Ospreay was against Mark Davis, Mark.
Yes.
So they explained this away. Old Don Carney Callis explained this one away, saying basically what happened is he signed Aussie Open. Now, even though he didn't have a signature from Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher had power of attorney because when Mark Davis was hurt, he gave him power of attorney to sign with anyone he needed to. So this is how he owns Mark Davis. And I think it was Excalibur who said, so he's doing this under duress. And I was like, what a stupid fucking statement for a wrestling show. What a dumb fucking statement for a wrestling show. Fucking take your mask off and get some oxygen, you dumb shit.
He said, hi, welcome to Dynamite. I'm Excalibur. And you said, fuck this bullshit.
I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
Sorry, I'm not an Excalibur fan. I apologize, folks. I do. I apologize. I really do. But it was a good match. After the match, we even got Ospreay chants. Like I said, this crowd was fucking hot, man. They were chanting a lot of stuff for these guys. They really, I think they really made the matches a lot better. I really do.
I actually kind of like Mark Davis. Like I liked him better when he had the mullet. He used to have a mullet. You got rid of that. That was a bummer. But he still has the sweet mustache, and he still does that cool ass jumping pile driver thing. So I'm a fan.
All right, there you go. All right, there you go. But so we had that, and then Kenny Omega comes out. Smart. Kenny Omega comes out, and the crowd goes fucking nuts. Kenny thanks him. But then Takeshita comes out with Kyle Fletcher, and Don Callis is holding him back, and it was just a whole thing. We're going to take you guys on at Grand Slam Australia, blah, 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 blah. But that show is on next Saturday, folks. Next Saturday night, we'll be able to watch that show.
After the All-Star festivities, yep. NBA All-Star festivities.
After the NBA All-Star Saturday night.
Yep.
Then we had a little segment with the Hurt Business where they came out and MVP gave a little hug to West Side Gun.
That's right.
And I thought it was funny because as you got the Hurt Syndicate out there cutting a promo, I got to tell you, this shocked the shit out of me. The Gun's got a great pop. Number one, they got a great pop, which I was very shocked about. I thought listen, I still hate that one fucking braid that one dude, the one guy has. I think that's Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the braid. I hate the man bun. But I like what they did here. You had them come down. You had them talk business. And MVP was basically like, look, I respect what you guys are doing. I respect your father, which is why these guys haven't choked you out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called them ass boys, and they did what I thought was a very smart thing here. They just embraced it.
Yeah.
They just said, you know what? You're goddamn right. You're damn right. Then they put and we got 2 words for you, guns up. So, hi, Norab, how you doing? So I thought it was a smart thing they did. They just said, screw it, and just said, let's just fucking embrace it. Because you know what? Now it's like, well, you can't even fucking make fun of them anymore. They didn't even give a shit about it.
Right.
So, but they got a match for the titles. And I think this will be good. And I definitely 100% see Billy Gunn reuniting with his 2 boys.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's almost written in the cards right now. What else do you do with Billy Gunn right now? Let him go with let him be back with his boys. Let him be back with his kids. I think it's a smart move to do, because I think it'll just get they were over without him. They'd be more over with him.
I think it all depends on like what are they going to do with the whole? Because I mean, they're still having them do the guns up thing, but they're also the guns. That's the tag team. It all depends on if they're going to be doing anything more with like the Bullet Club, because they were part of this stable. But like Jay White's doing his own thing. Juice Robinson's hurt. Like, are they just sort of quietly dissolving that, or do they plan on picking that back up in the future? Like, what's going on with that? I mean, I guess in the meantime, it doesn't hurt to put them back with Billy Gunn.
Yeah, and literally, I mean, you could bring that storyline back a fucking year from now. You could have them you could have him and Jay White still have interactions backstage, and I wouldn't even have them be bad interactions. Just Jay White is busy doing his own thing. Those guys are busy doing their own thing. And, you know, next thing you know, year later, they could get them back together. 6 months from now, they can get them back together. For right now, I would put Billy Gunn back with those guys at least. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much longer Billy Gunn is going to be there. It looks like they are trying to wrap up some of these older guys' careers, like a Jeff Jarrett, possibly a Billy Gunn. I really don't see a very long run in this company for these guys, the Hurt Syndicate. I think they're going to be here for probably 2 to 3 years at the max, and that's all we're going to see them for.
I don't know about that. Maybe, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying they can't go, but I mean, I would think of Bobby Lashley has done enough. I mean, probably wants to retire. I don't know. I would think Shelton Benjamin, maybe him too, but I mean, they can both still go. Even MVP can still go, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Lashley, he's done a lot. He's, held the world title like fucking every company. I could see him maybe wanting to do that again, but probably not. Like you said, he's done enough. He's 48. I think Shelton hasn't really had an opportunity to get like anything of any real substance in terms of push or even just like, a storyline in a minute. He was in WWE for a minute. They didn't really do too much anything. He was in New Japan. Then he went back to WWE and they didn't do shit with him. So like, I feel like he's probably enjoying actually being able to have a reoccurring role that has actual substance to it. Lashley's, I think it said Lashley's 48, Shelton's 49. So like, yeah, they're getting a little bit up there, but they're both fucking in phenomenal shape.
I mean, true. I mean, shit. Look at fucking Cope. He's still out there doing his thing, and at what 55, something like that. So I don't know. I mean, listen, Bobby Lashley. I mean, my God, if the guy's in amazing shape for his age, as is Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, MVP's no fucking slouch. He's not exactly a small, this skinny little fucking shriveled up man. So they're all still in shape. I'm just saying, I just don't think they're going to want a long run. I think maybe they will, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Copeland 51. So 2 years older than Shelton, 3 years older than Lashley.
Oh, MVP's only 51?
Lashley, or Copeland's 51.
Okay, 51. Only 2 years older than me?
Yep.
Man, I'm getting up there. He looks like really older than me.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
It's the beard. He's got the whole scruffy beard thing going, which ages him a little bit.
Oh yeah, I actually had the roles reversed. Yeah, he does look a lot older than you. I thought you were saying you look older than he does. I was like, I don't agree with that at all. But
No. Actually, I was when I told someone the other day I was 49, they couldn't believe it. I like that. I like that people don't believe my age.
So apparently Conan got into some hot water with two guys, Minty and the Pharaoh. Norad corrected that to Monty, but I like Minty and the Pharaoh better. So
I know Monty and the Pharaoh are a couple of fucking New York guys.
I like Minty and the Pharaoh better because that just sounds like a fucking St. Paul, Minnesota shock jocks. Just like a small radio station. Just like, we're Minty and Pharaoh in the mornings. We're gonna play fart sounds and then Ted Nugent. So stick around.
And here's Stranglehold for you.
I swear to God, I was about to say Stranglehold. It has to be Stranglehold. It's like, all right, here are some porn noises. Then there's Stranglehold. I'm going to be coming back with Too Fast for Love by Motley Crue. And the first person who yells a slur into the microphone gets free tickets.
Dude, I'm listening to this show so far, by the way. I am listening to this show.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Now, what kind of slur are we talking here? Any slur?
Yeah.
Tranny.
Yeah, tranny. I think you're still allowed to make fun of Italian people, so I mean that's fair game.
Wop. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mick. You're allowed to call people Micks.
Well, people are actually named Mick. I think that's insulting to actual people named Mickey or Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Mick Jagger right now is going, fuck you.
Hugsy and crew went after them for this assault.
Oh, wow. Getting fucking... it sounds like shit is getting real with these guys. Probably all the work. You're getting worked, Norab.
Nah.
You're getting worked, brother, man. You're getting fucking worked. All right, so we were sitting there. We were talking about Hurt Business, and then, like I said, the Guns came out, and I was impressed with the pop they got. The crowd was into them. They were saying what they should have when they were supposed to. They seemed like they really liked the Guns here. I liked this. This crowd was great in Atlanta.
No, I'm saying Minty and the Pharaoh. I like how you're sticking with Minty too. Minty and the Pharaoh thought that Paul Diamond and Conan were the same Max Moon. Were they not? Like, I mean, not concurrently, but I think it was originally supposed to be Conan, and Conan fucked off back to Mexico, like didn't want to do it or whatever, and then they had spent a lot of money on the fucking ridiculous ass Max Moon suit, so they ended up giving it to Paul Diamond. Like, I don't exactly remember why it was that Conan didn't want to do it, but I know Conan decided not to do it, and then they're saddled with the suit, so they put Paul Diamond in there. Like, I don't understand what the problem is with that.
I just think he didn't want to do it. I don't think he wanted to be a ridiculous character. But yeah, I think you nailed the story, actually.
Well, I'm saying I think that's part of what the beef with Conan and Minty and the Pharaoh is. This is fucking a weird conversation, but it's like, what are they saying that's not true? I don't understand why Conan's upset.
Oh, they thought Paul Diamond and Conan were the same character. No, almost like just like Smark said, almost very close. Then we had Renee backstage with Harley Cameron, and Harley Cameron is a ventriloquist now.
Mm-hmm. I like this gimmick.
Number one, I like this gimmick. Number two, this woman is talented. She can sing, play guitar. She's a ventriloquist. She has huge boobies, which is just a plus. I'm just throwing that one out there.
She's a big titty ventriloquist. What fucking killed me was that she did the Valley Girl accent for Sasha, or not Sasha, Mercedes. And it's like she was doing the same exact accent that you do when you're making fun of her bad promos. And it was just like, it got me. It fucking popped me hard. I was like, oh, this is phenomenal. Like we can all see what it is that she's doing. This is great.
Yeah, And that's exactly how fucking how she talks. It's horrible. But I thought this was funny, and then Mercedes comes out, and I thought it was even funnier that she was mimicking the doll to Mercedes' voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see a lot of people complaining about this Harley Cameron character. I do not know if you have a sense of humor in your body. You have, I don't know how you can't find this fucking funny. She is so talented and beautiful, and just like I said, she can sing. Yeah, she moves her lips a little bit doing the ventriloquism thing, but still.
Think about where she was, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. Like, she was basically doing fuck all anything. Like, maybe she would lose a match or two every now and again, like a Dynamite or Collision, but like for the most part, she was an afterthought. And I don't know if it was her idea or somebody else's idea, but she went from like just basically obscurity to being in a feud, quasi feud with Mercedes Renee. Like, she came up with an idea for herself, and she's getting herself over. She's moving herself up. Like, good for her.
I think, yeah, you're right. And she did. And I think someone figured out how talented she was. Maybe she finally walked into someone and said, you guys don't understand what I can do. Mm-hmm. So, and she showed him, I can play guitar. I can do this. I can do that. Let's see what other talent she has. I bet she's got other talents out there. I know she's got other talents.
Well, she was doing that shit, like I feel bad. She was doing the QT TV, whatever the fuck it was, where they're supposed to be ripping off TMZ, and like that sucked shit. But I think even then we were like complimenting that she was like the only good part of it. So like she was doing the best she could with like what it is that she had to work with there. And then after that, there was like basically nothing was going on, and now she's back with a new character, and it's like she's doing good. Like, I like it.
I like it too, but like I said, a lot of people are like, this is the most annoying thing in the world. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
That's kind of the point.
I think you're losing your sense of humor. Just stare at her tits. Jesus Christ.
Anyways, Nora was saying their argument was that Conan sucks because they saw Paul Diamond as Max Moon and thought it was Conan. So it's like, okay, I see what's going on now.
Oh, so it's mistaken identity and they should just all laugh it off. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to end up dead because of this. This is like an East Coast, West Coast, Tupac v. Biggie situation.
I get it. I will say Mercedes looked a little different in this segment. She wasn't as... Maybe her hair was different. I think her hair was different. She had dark hair this time.
I think once their feud concludes, you might need to just have... Harley Cameron fucking cut promos for her as the Mercedes puppet, like, because the Mercedes puppet was doing a better job cutting promos than the actual Mercedes.
Yeah, you're right. She was. You're 100% right. Then we had Renee backstage with Hangman.
Oh no, that's the last thing that was great about that was like Mercedes, like basically like, how dare you talk shit about me? You suck. I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass. It's that and the third. And then she like turns her back. When she turns her back, Harley just gives her the fucking finger, and Renee starts trying to put her hand down so she doesn't get in trouble. Like, that shit got me.
Camera, she's like, She's awesome. I think she's awesome. She's a great comedy character, and I don't think this was meant to be funny. But Renee is interviewing Hangman backstage, and first she's like, "What were you doing last week? Trying to go into Swerve's locker room?" And he's like, "It was a moment of weakness." And then she asks him, "Well, you hurt Christopher Daniels. It seemed like when he said something last week, you had regret in your face." And he just goes, "No." And the whole crowd fucking laughed.
I'm glad I did it. I'll do it again.
Did you catch the laugh?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It was great. I'm like, oh my God. They laughed. That was not supposed to be funny.
But I mean, really, though, is like they had a fucking death match. He's like, do you regret hurting somebody in a death match? Like, no, it's a fucking death match. Like, that was the point of the match. Like, what? No.
Yeah, it was the way he said it. The crowd had a good laugh. But after that, we see Max Caster back there, who's obviously the heel now. And he's asking, hey, maybe you could, you hurt people, right? Maybe you could hurt Anthony Bowens, maybe put Billy Gunn in the hospital. And Hangman goes after him. They're walking. And Max Caster's like, I'm going to go do this. And He runs, and Hangman goes, I'm coming with you.
Mhm.
Total comedy spot. Then we get Buddy Murphy and Brody Lee, the Hounds of Hell, out there. And they've got a match with Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Of course, we get Don Callis back on commentary. But match went well. I enjoyed the match itself. I thought it was really good, actually. But Fletcher and Takeshita end up pulling out the win here, which I was a little surprised by, since you're kind of trying to rebuild these Hounds of Hell guys. Please do not, if you are trying to build them, please do not do what you did to the old group, to the House of Black. They lost fucking matches all the time. Don't do this. Don't start doing it. You want to give them, fine, one, okay. They need, next time those two guys are out there, if they lose again, they might as well just fucking ask for their fucking release. Buddy Murphy should go be with his fucking girl. So, anyway, they pull out the win in this match. But after that, we get Samoa Joe. Him and Hooker backstage. Joe is using, or Hook is using Samoa Joe's words against them, but they're standing outside of Christian's locker room. Well, they go in, and it is just Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. But they decide to leave a message. They start beating them down. But you see Christian peeking in the door. And then you don't see Christian peeking in the door.
I gotta go.
And then Joe and Hook leave, and you see Christian walk in, and he's like, "What happened to your guys?"
What happened?
I thought it was hilarious. Again, I thought this was a really fun show last night that they did. But yeah, that was a great segment. Then MJF comes out, and it's the usual MJF bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. Then Dustin Rhodes comes out, and I was a little shocked to see. Actually, Max Caster came out first. And he's like, Hangman's behind me. Hangman. Hangman and MJF get face to face. That doesn't last long. He still goes after Caster. Then Dustin comes down. And Dustin fucking let him have it. But MJF still didn't care. And he said, you're in, you blah, blah, blah. Once MJF picked the microphone back up, you're living in the shadow of your dad for 37 years. Now you're living in the shadow of your widow baby. And Dustin takes him down. Now, I don't know if anybody has picked up on this, but this is very Randy Orton legend killer-ish.
It's actually funny that you say that, because I was going to ask you if you thought that like MJF was kind of doing the Randy Orton thing of like not the legend killer, but just where if he doesn't care about a feud, he just phones it in. Because it just seemed like he couldn't give less of a fuck about that. It's like, all right, here's what is expected of me, and I will deliver exactly that, and no more and no less.
A little bit, but this is very. I see some remnants of Legend Killer in here. When Randy Orton was doing the Legend Killer gimmick, and I think that's kind of where they're going with this a little bit. MJF is now going to kind of take over that Legend Killer thing, which can be done, can work. Doesn't seem like that bad of a thing to do. But I don't know. I thought this was a good promo, and I thought the pull apart was good. First, Dustin gets out of the pull apart and attacks him. Then MJF gets out of the pull apart and attacks Dustin. I thought this was a great pull apart between these two. And, I don't care how fucking what it does. I think Dustin said he was 55 and he's still out there doing it. And we even got another promo that was basically the same thing he was saying in the ring from Dustin, which now we don't have to talk about later. But another segment on this show I liked. And by the way, Sting was in the crowd again. Looks like the same guy, same makeup, same everything, same. It looks like the same guy. So. And saw a lot of Bruv shirts in the audience, by the way. As they all the segments they walk through, you saw someone with a Bruv shirt on.
He's moving that merch.
Got the Bruv shirt on. He's selling some merch. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So we go to a commercial. We come back. We get Mariah May down in the ring and Queen Aminata. And then we get Justin Roberts comes in and announces the part of Mariah May played by Timeless Tony Storm. And Tony Storm came to the ring, and my God, that outfit, that gear looks way better on Tony Storm. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
She got jiggled in the right spots, man. I'm telling you. Good stuff here by Tony Storm. I really did. And this was great. She played this part to a T, even to where after the match, she wins. And even to where Renee came in and she's like, call me Mariah May. It was great. I thought this whole thing was great. Tony Storm is 100% probably the best part of AEW right now. This feud between these two is great, but boy, Tony Storm in that fucking gear, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then she lied in the ring with her legs spread on her stomach. My God. Whew. Whew. Great picture. But then we get Jericho and Big Bill. We get the New York Minute. Now, Smark, before I get into this, I have to ask, did you see the reunion on the Jericho Cruise?
No, I've seen clips of the Jericho Cruise, but I don't think I've seen it. Maybe I have. Tell me about it.
Did you see Enzo and Big Bill?
No.
Well, Smark, here you go.
My name is Enzo, and I am a certified G, and a bona fide star, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Big Bill, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Realest guys in the room, how you doing? There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. S-A-W-N-T,
Pretty fucking cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how long those guys have been apart. They walk into a ring together. Enzo just walked out at the end of the match. They were all out. It looked like that was the end of the show. They were having a good time. Enzo walks out, and if I was Tony Khan, I would definitely take note of what I saw there. And that was a crowd that absolutely was thriving, that didn't miss a beat when it came to two guys that have not been together, and I'm going to go with 5 to 7 years. And they literally acted like they have seen these guys every night for the past fucking 20 years. It was awesome to see. I would love to see Enzo get a second chance to be on television. I really would. WWE did fuck this guy. All those fucking claims against him were bullshit. That girl was lying. It was proven. And I'll still say it. They were looking for an excuse to get rid of him because he was so hated backstage. And they found an excuse, and they did. Maybe the guy's grown up a little bit.
Maybe we should. That's the thing, is like, he was young when they hired him.
Yep.
It's like, okay, yeah, they fired him essentially because he was an asshole. Like, yeah, those allegations didn't help. I do kind of wonder how, I appreciate the irony, kind of wonder how he feels about it, that he got fired for allegations, but he got fired by an actual rapist for false rape allegations. Like, there's a certain irony in that. It's like, I wonder how he feels about that. But then at the same time, yeah, they basically just fired him because he was hard to work with and he was kind of an obnoxious prick. But like, he's spent so much time like on the indies and so much time post WWE to actually think about like himself and try to develop and change and evolve as a person. So like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Bring him back, give him a shot. Like, basically just if you do decide to do that, just let him know immediately. Like, if you do so much as like cut in front of a motherfucker in catering, you're gone. Like, just let him know. Thin leash. Fucking earn your spot. Don't be a dickhead.
Yeah.
See what happens. Why not?
I agree. And yeah, I mean, you saw the grizzled young veterans in the ring, but I really think Enzo's a guy that definitely deserves a second chance. I really do. I would like to see Enzo in a company that he can have a chance to maybe get a shot. Maybe get I'm not saying Enzo's the fucking going to be the AEW world champion or anything, but he's a tag team champion guy. He may be a TNT champion type guy. You know what I mean? He's got things that he's definitely got something that this company could use. And I got to tell you, I've never seen Big Bill smile like he was this week. I think he needed a little bit of a little Enzo in his life, because Big Bill had a smile from ear to ear throughout this whole segment, which he hasn't had in a while. But I definitely think it would be a great thing for Tony Khan to give a guy like Enzo a second shot. I think people might actually have a little respect for Tony for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I agree. I'm 100% with you, man. I think the guy 100% absolutely deserves it. So we did get another New York minute with Jericho. This one didn't go as planned. What was annoying about this is when it was first Powerhouse Hobbs come out. Thank God they're still working with Powerhouse Hobbs. He comes out, he's got a knee brace on, and he starts taking out everybody. Security comes down, he's taking out security. Finally, Hobbs and Big Bill are on the ring, and they start going at it. What annoyed me most is that they never took this fucking New York Minute box off the screen. Listen, I know it's a small thing. I know it shouldn't annoy me, but little tiny things like this just annoy the fuck out of me. I hated watching with this little block on the screen. I don't like things blocking my screen. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that was blocking my screen, pissing me off. But Powerhouse Hobbs beat the hell out of Big Bill. And then we get the Ricochet and Swerve match for the main event. Great match between these guys. This show started off hot, and I thought it ended hot. Once again, the crowd was completely into this match. I thought the crowd was fucking going from start to finish for this show. I thought it was a great feel. And you can definitely tell they're doing smaller arenas, and I got to tell you, I don't give a fuck. I think it looks better. I think it sounds better. I think the shows have a better feel. I think this week's show was actually one of the better shows in probably a month and a half to 2 months.
I agree with that. I think, obviously the Ospreay Mark Davis match, you knew Ospreay was winning that, but otherwise, the matches weren't quite as predictable. Like you said, the tag match, it kind of could have gone either way. Like, I kind of did assume that the Callis family was going to win, just because they both have a match on the Australia show, whereas I think it's just Matthews that has a match. So it's like around the Australia show with Okada. So it's like, it kind of made sense, I guess, that they ended up winning it. But it was more in doubt than anything that happened last week. And then you had this, obviously the main event. Like, wasn't quite sure who was going to win that one, so that was cool. And like that fucking, I think it was like a power bomb that Ricochet ended up getting on the barricade. That was fucking crazy. That was cool shit. And it's just, the matches weren't quite as predictable. There was some good vignettes, some good segments, good character work. It seemed like it was a way more cohesive and a way more like just sort of fun show to watch, honestly, than the last couple of weeks. I would agree with you that it was the best Dynamite that I've seen this year, at least, for sure.
Yeah, definitely good stuff right there, man. From AEW last night. Ricochet did end up picking the win. Picking up the win in that match between those two. Which, let's face it, Ricochet needs the win. There's a guy they are really trying to build on, and it almost feels like Tony's got a fucking vendetta to prove people wrong about Ricochet, and if that's I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So But that was great stuff by him. I thought that was a great match. I definitely agreed Ricochet had to win that match to further the storyline, and I think we can all tell it ain't over between those between those three, because Nana's in there too.
Yeah, because he stole the embassy jacket.
Yep. So 100%. Yeah, he did. He walked right out with it. So with it on, actually. So yeah, we're going to definitely see more of this storyline, and I think these two are working great together. I really do. I like this storyline. I mean, for a company that everyone said they have got no fucking storylines, every match last night had a fucking story with it.
Mm.
So I don't know if Tony, because we read an article a few weeks ago that Tony Khan was going with the ADD type booking and was going to just book matches week to week. That's not what wrestling is. You cannot do that. Indie shows do that. So maybe someone said you're a fucking idiot if you're going to do this. This is not what works. Storytelling works. That's what wrestling is. But it looks like he's gotten away from that. We're starting to get it looks like we're starting to get some long-term stories put in place now. We got a few working out. I mean, the Omega Osprey thing has been a storyline. Pretty much every match last night had a storyline, and every backstage segment furthered a storyline.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. The formula fucking works.
Right?
It's so simple. Everything you do either furthers the storyline or has something to do with the storyline. It's so simple. It's simple. Anyway, that's it, man. I got nothing else. What do you got? Anything?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right. Well, Smark, where can they find you?
Well, you can actually find me this Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, the Tits Gang. That's totally appropriate. Team Sports on YouTube. We're going to be doing a watch along of the Super Bowl. So come hang with us during the game. Keep you company, and be sure to, if you haven't already, listen to this week's episode of Tits, because we did a whole Super Bowl thing. We covered the game itself, the over/under on that, as well as I believe 14, 15, a various number of prop bets. What color the Gatorade is going to be, what the first commercial is going to be, fucking Taylor Swift, or Travis Kelce proposed to Taylor Swift, will anybody die, that kind of shit. So there's all kinds of fun things that we did this Tuesday on Totally Appropriate Team Sports. Be sure to check that out. And again, Super Bowl live, watch along, check us out there, Totally Appropriate Team Sports on YouTube.
Did anyone bet on someone dying?
I don't think that was an actual prop bet. Okay. There was a lot of odd sacrilege that ended up happening.
Okay.
But I don't think we predicted it was going to die.
Okay. Good. Well, you guys know you can find me and Smark right back here next week on Wrestling Outlet. We'll be back here 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube. And go ahead and check me out on Mixlr at Hollywood Hangout. Last week, I actually ended up doing Streets of Fire.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, I'm thinking about doing we got, 3? I'd have 3 shows left in this month. 1, 2, exactly. No, I'd carry one over to next month, but that's fine. I can do that. Think about doing the barbershop movies.
Right on.
I love those movies, and I think I might do those 3 movies. It is Black History Month, number 1. But that's not why I would do those. I actually I love those fucking movies. And I like the progression that you could see almost like Ice Cube was learning every movie on how the production should be and everything. You saw it got more expensive. And then you saw that because the first movie was kind of an independent movie. The second movie you could tell was picked up by someone. And by the third movie, it looked like a real Hollywood movie. So it was crazy how the progression of this kind of independent style film. And by the third one, it was a totally different type film, but you could definitely see that Ice Cube was learning in the first one. And by the third one, he was a fucking absolute film pro by the time that one came out. So I'm going to talk those movies. That's 99.9% what I'm going to do. If I change my mind, it's for some weird reason, but I think I'm going to talk those 3 barbershop movies this week, next week, and the week after.
Right on.
So there you go, folks. That one more time. That was Hollywood Hangout over there on Mixler. Check it out over there. Same time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 my time. So there you go, folks. I got nothing else. Smark. Damn fun show, and I will talk to you next time unless you got anything else.
Yes, sir. That'll do it.
All right. Out we go. See ya.
Adios.